Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance. And in this video, we will be going over narcissism in the birth chart. Now, if you're like me, I'm sure you would have researched this on YouTube quite a few times, or maybe even on the internet, just to kind of find aspects that indicate a narcissism in the birth chart. And I'm going to just be really honest and say, that every aspect can be interpreted differently, and every soul is going to play out that energy differently, So I don't want to disappoint everyone and say, that there just isn't aspects that indicate a narcissist, and there definitely are. Just off the top of my head, anything with a lot of Pluto or a lot of Neptune, this can be, that aggression and anger and, resentment and even, Neptune, that's like illusions and delusions. That's not to say that anyone with, heavy Neptune and Pluto aspects in their birth chart are going to be narcissist. Each soul comes here with a contract of how they want to operate each lifetime. And there definitely are a lot of, sensitive souls and empaths and, light workers that have heavy Pluto and heavy Neptune aspects. So, really does just come down to that soul contract, like childhood experiences and parenting and things like that. So it really can be, both ends of the spectrum, like how that individual handles that energy or that childhood trauma. So, we can see a lot of people, like a lot of narcissists have, say, heavy Neptune aspects. And this is, something, especially if it's like the sun or the moon. So then we can see them detaching, not knowing how to connect to people. Even same with Saturn. People with Saturn moon connections, they don't know how to connect. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of disconnection, there's a lot of coldness, So this can be, it really does come down to the individual. So, I can probably say people with, like moon Neptune, sun Neptune, like Saturn, sun, moon, or, like Pluto ascendant, or, even some people that have Chiron on the ascendant, but that's not to say that they're a narcissist. It really, like I said, like literally from the start of the video, it really does just come down to that individual. I know it's really disappointing when, we do a synastry chart or a composite chart and the synastry in that is perfect. It's amazing, oh my God. But then there's just this little annoying aspect that they're a narcissist. And it's just like, where does this come into it? How can I find that, aspect in the birth chart? And the thing is, from my knowledge at this point in time, 2022, is that it cannot be found. There's things we can find in the chart that can indicate this, where we can see someone, people can swing one way or swing the other way. But yes, that's pretty much my findings at this point in time. So yeah, and I feel like, there's a lot more information coming out about narcissists now. We do see that people that are highly empathic, do have tendencies of, borderline personality disorder, which is now being characterized as complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And this can be from, being with narcissistic people or having parents that were narcissists, and then they're having the same kind of traits as narcissists. So, in childhood wounding, I've actually done a video on this, is in childhood wounding, we either go one way or the other. So we either become really hypervigilant, super sensitive, and really want to, not have a personality and disassociate from ourselves and really want to please our caregivers, where we can also swing the other end of the spectrum, which is the more narcissistic spectrum, which is to, disconnect from everyone, put yourself in a bubble to protect yourself, and kind of, have no emotional empathy or care for anyone as a survival mechanism. But both are needing to individuate from the parents, to kind of separate in a way. And then this is why we have narcissists and empaths, or narcissists and borderline personality, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, narcissists and codependents, you know, they come together because they're both needing each other to separate. Like, they come together so they can both be each other's parents, to, you know, heal each other's wounding. And, you know, like, obviously, like, the more empathic person will give to receive love and to feel loved, and then, you know, the narcissist will take to feel loved, and then this is how this works, you know. And then, you know, like, there's all this separation and stuff like that, just to kind of reenact that trauma so they can finally stick up for themselves, or finally individuate, or finally take their power back, you know. Like, so we can see this on both sides. So people that, you know, heavily empathic, you know, super sensitive souls, they have, you know, very heavy, like, Neptune placements, or even Pluto, like, you know, because Pluto is the psychologist. So, you know, really being great at being able to help people and understand people. So I don't know, I've kind of gone off topic a bit here, but ultimately, you know, we can't find exact aspects of narcissism in the birth chart. Yes, we can go to, like, mundane traditional astrology and say, you know, the fixed signs. So we have, like, the Taurus and the Aquarius and the Scorpio and the Leo. Yes, these people are kind of stubborn and, you know, more selfish, and, you know, like, we could say, like, the Aquarius, like, they like to disconnect. But, you know, like, there's so many aspects that can indicate narcissism, but there's nothing specifically, you know what I mean? Because each aspect can be interpreted on two different ways depending on the soul. So I'm just going to leave this here. I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I just want to put something out in the cyber world or on YouTube, just so, you know, people have some kind of information to then, you know, if they want to do some more research based on what I've said, or, you know, something like that, just so that there is something on the internet. Because I do know, like, personally myself, a lot of people do try and look up this aspect, you know, because it is, when you go through narcissistic abuse, or being in a relationship with a narcissist, or, you know, healing childhood trauma, this is, you know, something that people really get into so they can understand the psychology and understand where they went wrong. And maybe if they can see it in a birth chart, they can be like, if this ever comes up again, they can just be like, oh my God, there's that aspect, I can run for the hills. But there just really isn't that. So, yeah, so that's it for me, guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if it was a disappointment, but at least there's some education and some light shed on this area, so then hopefully other people add to this. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.